This position is called the pugilistic attitude. This is due to the influence of high temperature on the muscles. The fire reaches the skin first, then the soft tissue, until the skeletal muscles are exposed. Coagulation occurs in exposed muscles due to their fibers shrinking. The extensors yield to the force of the flexors. The muscles contract and contract until the limbs become flexy and deformed.
anything else? Oh.
The upper ones are characterized by a triple bend, similar to a boxer holding his hands in front of him. Just 10 minutes will do it. 10 minutes for the muscles and tendons to contract like a steak on the grill. In the end, we're all just walking meat. The deceased must now be straightened out, and we need to get rid of these bindings. He looks to have been tied up in a rather unusual... The deceased's neck and feet were... Which explains why, despite the severe burns, the deceased's limbs are not all that twisted. That's better. It's easier to straighten him now. Without taking out the magnifying glass, we already know that the deceased's skin is heavily charred and cracked. As for the other details, there are crow's feet visible near the eyes. Upper lip reveals front teeth. One of the incisors is broken. There's soot in the nostrils. The rope around the neck wasn't very tight. I don't see it leaving a mark on the skin. You can clearly see that this is primarily the front of the deceased that was exposed to fire. The victim sat in the chair the whole time, hence his back being in much better condition than this extremely burnt. The rope marks around the wrists are deep and clearly visible. The rope at the man's ankles was tied much tighter and more precisely than the one around his wrists. Looks as if a large flap of skin had detached from the calf. All in all, quite a lot can be deduced from this external examination. Traces fail to indicate that the severe burn... predominance of force. The length of the burns reach through the dirt. He appears to be loosely tied. However, this is the result of the corpse drying out. The wound shows that the rope had deeply imprinted itself in the tissue. Soot in the nose appears when inhaling harmful and choking smoke. The eye clenching is a natural reaction of the body. The tissue of the mouth was heavily burned as well. The teeth, however, it looks like the deceased was a fan of choking while masturbating. The extent of the thermal stresses on the body could have caused this death. Burns to the genitals and groin. The mixture, in this case, wounds on the wrists and ankles indicate we need to perhaps the deceased lost a tooth, attempting to bite through the rope. I will assess the extent of possible poisoning and burning in a moment. First, I'll try to establish the victim's identity. Due to the amount of charring, we are unable to collect the victim's fingerprints. Visual identification is also out of the question. You can probably guess what options we are left with. You guessed it. Okay, it's going well. I should be able to get this done in time. Where are these trays? Towels, papers, jars? Nope. It's not anywhere on the counter. Maybe in this drawer. Oh, I'll warm this up in my hands. Okay, making an impression is quite simple. You put trays with alkanate into the mouth and press them together in one firm movement until you feel significant resistance. Once the devices have been played, okay. Again, we will need a piece of paper, a brush, and ink. We will make a plaster model of the deceased's teeth from the obtained impression. We will then make an impression of the mold on a piece of paper, which will be scanned into the computer. You see, it seems so simple, and yet laborious. On the plus side, we don't have to worry about the gag reflex with the deceased. And no need to remind the subject to breathe either. At least he saved the high cost of orthodontic treatment. I wasn't sure it would amount to anything, but the World Wide Web has been a blessing for speeding up my work. Wow. Who would have expected a match so soon? Well, the deceased is Richard Jacobson, 47 years old. Okay, I'll add some details to the clipboard. Okay, and we can move on to dissecting the body. This time, I'll go straight for the loppers. Wait, let me start here. I push hard several times. Until I cut a given section. You can see that using a scalpel would be pointless here. Solid crunch. Almost there. Now we peel back the skin. Now to remove the ribs. And we can check out what's going on in here. And I see that a lot has happened. In fact, the entire abdominal cavity is flooded. Blood and other fluids have seeped from the blood vessels, flooding the We have to get rid of... I'll go get a cup or a ladle. I think I saw one somewhere here. I don't have all night. I'm going to need a vacuum pump. Right. Running around for everything starts again. Why can't things be tidied away properly in this damn mortuary? I'm gonna get Ridley. Mr. Ridley? Mr. Ridley? I'll just go to the basement and check. Jeez. I don't know what the big for. Rusty scrap. God! Where is this infernal machine? Wow, that's heavy. Can I fit through the door with this? I swear I'm going to have an accident here one day. Like Alice, when she twisted her ankle on those stairs. We were supposed to go to the mountains then. It was supposed to be our first trip since... And Alice.
Handman.
Because of me. As always, she had to...
Handman, are you talking to yourself or what?
Huh? What? No, I just...
There is a letter for you. I left it on your desk.
Letter? For me?
Yes. Letter for you. Do I have to repeat myself again?
Where were you? I was
Hand.
Jesus, did you talk to me like a human being?
I'm just answering the question.
Right. Oh, maybe you could...
Maybe.
A letter. Fuck! Who delivers letters at this time? It's probably been sat in his office for ages. Just didn't want to move his lazy ass. So, we have the equipment. Now I have to place it somewhere close to the table. Phew. I can finally put this thing down. Alright, just... What? There's no tube? No one's used this for a long time. I apologize to you all once again. Aha. 3649. Okay. 3649. 3649. 3749. 3794. These lockers could contain everything we need. Or, screw it. There might be something in here. Yep. I'm sure I wrote the code down on a piece of paper. Me and my memory for numbers. What do we have here? Boxes of disinfectants, syringes, thread. Oh. Maybe I should antiseptics. Any other stuff? Oh, that's interesting. What about here? I wanted to forget. Alice. I regret so much. Every day. Every fucking day. I can't. I can't take it anymore. Oh, God. I can't. How do I... Fuck. Office of the Medical Examiner, Peatsville.
Oh, Jack. I was hoping to catch you or...
Hi.
Good. You... Jack, you're not lying. You know... Well, not... I thought I... Leave several...
Sure, okay.
Jack, trial you...
I'll take care of... I need my pills. There's been a bit too much going on lately. I was supposed to collect the hose. Focus on your work, Jack. All right. Here I am. I hope that was the last long break in this session. So, let's connect the tube. We turn on the machine. With this amount of fluid, there's no point in holding back. Still a few nooks and crannies left. External examinations did not reveal any tissue defects that would reach the internal organs. So, I expect the organs to be intact. In a way, it's quite extraordinary. that even with such severe... The organs are all present and correct. A reddish-pink tint indicates high carboxyhemoglobin levels, the level of which I will determine from a sample of blood. I will be inserting needles into the heart and femoral artery. What interests me here is not the presence of this substance itself, but rather its percentage content. But first, I'll need the values for the centrifuge. Ugh. I feel like I've been here forever. Jack, focus. Just a little bit longer. Corpses recovered from the site of fire may have very different and complex histories. Burning is only at the surface. Underneath, it may be a heart attack, stroke, or pulmonary embolism. This particular case appears quite basic. However, I would warn against making a diagnosis too hastily. A fire victim does not always mean death due to smoke inhalation. The centrifuge has completed its cycle. So, as usual, I will take the samples to the laboratory, and I'll be back with the results shortly. Ugh. What exactly was I supposed to test for? COHB. I'll take 2 milliliters of each sample. Ugh. Confirmed. Death due to carbon monoxide poisoning. Carboxyhemoglobin levels at 84%. Alright, I'll note this down and perform a check of the organs. What? Where? Mr. Ridley? Why did he take that fucking body? Maybe I think I'm just tired. I don't understand what's going on. What's wrong with me? Something strange is happening here. What? something. Why did you take the body?
What bot?
You know,
I didn't take it.
so I think there's... I must have been seeing things. Results. Well, then we can... from the results... we can now be sure that the the organ has a reddish pink tint, which results from the concentration of COHB and general congestion of the organ. Other than that, I can cross this off my list now. We will look at the lungs more carefully. From the outside, just like the heart, it is congested, and the color indicates poisoning. Thermal damage is visible here and there. Enough of the external exam. It's time to grab the knife and dissect the lungs. I need to check for any obstruction, burns, or clots. Jesus. Alright. You can see changes in the lung parenchyma. Nothing new here. So let's complete the notes. And let's check the trachea. The color is the same as the rest of the organs. Significant congestion. Let's see what it looks like in... Okay, the final cut. There are visible burns inside, but what catches the eye the most is the amount of soot. Looks like our subject was in the thick of the fire. Let's deal with the final notes, and we're ready to go. Let's deal with the final notes. I considered the direct cause of death to be severe carbon monoxide poisoning, leading to extreme hypoxia of the body. The extreme burns on the deceased's body and respiratory tract indicate that he must have been surrounded by fire. During the examination, no other factors were found that could have contributed to the victim's death. Environmental data does not indicate any third-party involvement. Just need to add my John Hancock and sew up the body. I'll close the body, trying not to damage what's left of the skin. As for stitching, well, it varies. It can be that the fire victims are in such a condition that there is nothing left to stitch. So for this job, a thicker needle and heavy-duty thread. Well, everything's holding together. Keeping it together is invaluable in this line of work. Well, after storing the body, there's nothing left for me to do. But thank you for your attention. All the best, and good night. Ugh, my God. What an exhausting day. I need to get these gloves off and call a taxi. I swear I'm about to pass out from exhaustion.